This movie opens with the classic Disney 2D castle. It warmed my heart to see.
Oh, this is... I thought we were at an office party. I was already dancing. I didn't know what you were going to say.
Then it's the office Christmas party. But it was jarring for me. I watched the 3 Santa Claus movies over the course of a week and then went back to the first one today to watch it again. And the second and third movies are so like G-rated kids family Christmas movies.
So there's no secretaries sitting on bosses' laps.
Yeah.
Just, well, but even like this, like first 10 seconds, you're at an office. The font is Courier New. So it's like, just, hey, this is business. This is important business. It was whiplash to experience that.
Okay.
And, you know, there's an office Christmas party, and this looks like a pretty fun party. And then Peter Boyle.
Multi-level.
Peter Boyle is the boss of this company, and he's like, ladies and gentlemen, I'm the boss, and I have a speech to make about our corporation. We've done a great job in marketing and distribution, and now here comes Scott Calvin to tell you some more about it.
Great synopsis, Matt.
Thank you.
Yeah.
No, but this is all just like lorem ipsum, like we are business people doing business things.
Acme business animals.
Yeah. Distribution list, supply chains.
Yeah. Quarterly numbers. Yeah.
Right, yeah. Give me the Q1s on my desk by Monday morning.
So they bring Scott Calvin up to give a speech, and he's very good as this just shitty, smarmy guy who communicates to you. This guy, he's all about business. He can talk the language of caring about his family, but as he says, our family's not here. This is what my life's actually about. Well,
and he's late to he's a co-parent that's getting the lucky card of getting Christmas night. As people who have co-parented, we know that's the big show, baby. And he's late, and he's already making up excuses as to why he's late getting to his house. He's late because of this. Also, who has a fucking work Christmas party on Christmas Eve? I call bullshit. But anyway,
I would never. Yeah, I would never.
Who would? It's stupid. Everything happens on Christmas Eve in these goddamn movies.
Yeah, I think that's like the we decorate on Christmas Eve, or it's just like we're so obsessed with working that we don't even care that it's Christmas Eve.
But all of them don't care. You think all of them are getting the Tim Allen box? I don't think so. But also, it immediately doesn't match up because you get to his house, he's got a tree that they try to be like, oh, it's decorated like shit. Yeah, but he decorated a tree by himself without a kid, and he planned an entire feast for some fucking reason, and even attempts to cook it with full turkey. This man did a lot of pre-planning for his kid. They tried to set him up as like kind of cold, but I don't know, maybe they're letting you know like, no, he's got Santa in him this whole time, because they're actually, even when they're at their most strained, he's really sweet. He doesn't take it out on Charlie, that Charlie is aggravated. He gives Charlie he knows he earned it.
Yeah, he has it, or he always cares, even if he's not able to make it happen.
Yeah, Charlie kind of comes in ungrateful though. Like when he's like, "I thought you said there'd be more gifts." Like there was a decent amount of gifts under the tree too. I'm like, "What? This kid's got an attitude problem. I don't like that."
No, this little piece of shit.
Yeah.
He's got a very stable mom and stepdad, and dad just keeps letting him down. So, he's spending his Christmas night not at the house he wants. You can tell he's not at the house he wants because he brings a pillow from that house, which is the big tell of this is not my house. That is my house.
That's a great observation. But it's also, Tim Allen's like, he pulls out a cookbook and he's like, I'm going to make this giant turkey feast, which like no kid gives a shit about that.
No one wants to watch you do this either.
But that is like the single parent, like divorced dad energy of like, no, I'm going to show how much I care by putting all this work into a project, rather than like, all he actually wants is like, just spend time with me, go do something with me, or let's go do something special, just us.
And it's interesting that he doesn't do like the most dad thing, which is just order pizza.
Yeah.
Every kid likes pizza, but it is pretty perfect that they end up at Denny's. It just seems like a late fucking night. I mean, even just getting food into the child seems like we're already pretty late.
That's true. What were they doing for the 4 hours? But wait, I just wanted to say something about the cell phone. He's on the car phone to his wife, and he's like, I'm stuck in traffic. His ex-wife, sorry. And it's even in the 2006 Santa Claus 3, Tim Allen is taking calls on his cell phone, and that signals, that's like semiotics, that's movie language for this is a bad person because they're talking on a cell phone.
They're distracted driver.
Which is just something that has totally changed about the world today. And here's what I have to say. We have to go back. We have to go back to when if you used a phone in front of other people, you were a bad person. That's all.
That is so true. It's like I have to, like it's like in the Christmas. I have to take this. I have to take this call. Like it's for my boss, honey. I'm so sorry. You know, like that trope. It's like, oh, Dad, you hate us. You know, that is hilarious.
Yeah, it communicated to you instantly. I think most famously in Steven Spielberg's Hook, Robin Williams keeps taking calls on his giant phone during the school play, and you watched that and thought, this guy's an asshole.
Wait, no, the best version of that is the new fiance in Twister when she's like, yes, Lord, no, tell me about his penis. Okay, no, I'm sorry, I'm just in a truck. Oh, there's cows. She's business lady. She doesn't deserve that man. Nuh-uh.
Sign up for our Patreon to hear our Twister commentary where we talk all about the sex therapist on the cell phone.
Yes, we do.
Mm-hmm. So Scott Calvin and his little son, Charlie, Eric Lloyd, who, as I mentioned, he was in Heart and Souls, and he has the scene in Heart and Souls where the ghosts say, like, we can't be with you anymore, Charlie.
Matt.
And he goes, he just wails and cries.
He's such a good crier, and it breaks my fucking heart.
And then he does it in this movie tons of times, which I didn't remember.
Well, I don't know who came first or what laid a chicken, but this is why he's in either one of them. They need a kid that can cry and break hearts.
Yeah, Heart and Souls was first. They saw that movie and like, okay, that's the kid. He can cry. He can break your fucking heart. Wendy Crewson is the ex-wife Laura, who has a Mia Wallace haircut for some reason.
I was just going to say, when did Pulp Fiction come out in relation to this movie?
Came out in 94.
Yeah, I think it came out October, so it was in theaters at the same time as this. So you could do a double feature of this haircut.
That'd be great. That's a wild double feature. That'd be wild.
Yeah.
Wait, I can give you that haircut. I still have my fake bangs for when we did the Pulp Fiction episode.
Beautiful. There. You look like a very cold ex-wife.
I look just like her.
So he burns the turkey, and they go.
He also bought a turkey. Okay, Charlie.
Yeah, Charlie's a little.
Give him a break. No, Charlie's perfect.
So they go to Denny's. Now, I got to tell you, this Denny's sequence, I think, is like 25% of the reason the movie loomed so large in my memory.
Because your dad loves Denny's?
Oh, well, my whole family loved Denny's. This is one of the great Denny's movies. And watching the movie, I would have guessed, if you say, how much time do they spend at the Denny's? I'd be like, I don't know, 35 minutes.
That's how much.
It is over so fast. I'm like, I was so disappointed. Like, I thought we spent so much time at this Denny's.
What? They got
I don't know. Nothing happens at the Denny's. It's
just depressing dad. It's just like in Parenthood where McDonald's is the depressing dad drop-off location. It's just signals divorce.
Definitely. Yeah, that and Wendy's for me were always the two meals.
Yep.
Well, Wendy's is a divorce place?
Wendy's for me is where you go when you're sick. And McDonald's is where you go when your dad's done with you.
When you're divorced.
But for you, it was a Wendy's, Brock?
Yeah, it was Wendy's. Yeah.
How old were you when your parents separated?
Oh, I was 8. Yeah, I was 8. Yeah.
That's a rough age.
That is rough.
I was 5 and I still remembered very well. You want to talk about that for a while or? Yeah, okay, good. I got to play with puppets, work it all out.
Yeah, I was joking with my wife. I was like, because we both grew up like divorced kids, and I was like, we actually look forward to Christmas time because it was double Christmas. Like as we got older, of course, it got over the top, but but we were younger, it sucked for sure.
But like my dad always got it just a little bit wrong. There was this fad of like ankle boots were like the fucking thing, and I'm stupid. I told him I want ankle boots. He gets me full like cowgirl boots, and I'm just like, what the hell is? It's just his presents were always just a little wrong, and always wrapped in newspaper. So Dad Christmas was sad Christmas.
But that's like you're complaining about Charlie not being grateful, but your dad was trying.
Cowboy boots, Matt.
He doesn't know these things. He just heard boots.
Look it up.
What's he gonna look it up on?
Go to fucking JCPenney's and try to find cowboy boots. You can't. That motherfucker went out of his way to find the wrong thing. And he's dead now. So
I'm very, very sorry. Very sorry to hear that.
R.I.P. to Lacey's dad.
Yes, R.I.P. to a legend.
You know what you did, Dad. All right, okay, go ahead.
The movie does a really good job about this being depressing in a realistic, like not so bleak. They don't really lay it on thick. It's just like the restaurant is sparsely populated, but there's a candle on each table.
Well, and they do the like freaking foreign Christmas party over there with Japanese, all those.
This was the height of comedy in the 90s. This
so
Japanese businessman.
I thought it was probably a nod to going to an Asian restaurant in A Christmas Story. Well, you know, that horrible.
No, I think it was just like, you know what's always funny is seeing Japanese businessmen
when they're all together like that.
What sort of wacky hijinks happen? And I think I said this already. He is dressed exactly like my dad. Still
oh my
has
God, you're
this
right.
shirt.
Like I think I've seen your dad in this exact outfit. Yeah.
So they go back to the house, and Scott is putting his kid to bed, and the kid starts asking him questions about Santa.
Reading him a story.
Well, he's reading the night before Christmas, and then the kid starts asking questions about the Santa logic, and he's kind of half-heartedly putting up with it. Oh, there was this thing earlier where like the ex-wife and the new stepdad are like, we think that we should be realistic about Santa, and Scott doesn't like that. He wants to keep the magic alive, but then he doesn't want to put that much effort into keeping it alive.
I think he put a lot of effort in.
It was
just very.
It was
really liked him.
I gotta agree with Matt. It was pretty half-assed. Yeah.
But the way that he's like tired and ready for Charlie to go to sleep, that's so relatable.
Yeah.
Like it's like, okay, and then it was
Okay,
and then you're halfway out the door. But Dad, you're like, I was this close to my beer. This close to my beer.
Yeah, it's one fucking night, Scott. Drink some coffee. You can deal with it.
All right, fine. So now he's in the deepest sleep ever. And there's a commotion on the roof. And Charlie wakes up his dad, right? I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard a clatter.
I heard a Rosa clatter. And they go outside, and wouldn't you goddamn know it? No, it's just him. He just goes outside and says, hey, buddy. And that clumsy drunk Santa, I'll say it, he's drunk. He immediately falls down like he's never been on a roof, never been seen by a person, never, like, this is what you do, my man.
You would think if there's one thing you're good at as Santa, it's walking on a roof.
And being surprised. You know how many kids sleep in their living room? Try to catch them. I sleep in my hallway. Try to catch them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always did that.
Yeah.
I think Brock's right, though. I mean, I think he was set up. He's probably drugged. There's just a lot going on that we're not seeing.
Deleted scenes left at the cutting room floor. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
The man dies from an elegant fall flat on his back into fluffy, beautiful snow. And Tim Allen takes out the business card like you do, like a gentleman. You exchange business cards, gotta get information, find out some insurance.
Because he's saying, hey, buddy, you must work at the mall. Let me look for your ID and then I'll give you a ride back to the mall.
You're such a nice guy on my roof. Okay, you're on a little bit of meth, but you're probably just a nice smell Santa. And then Charlie comes out. There's a whole kerfuffle.
Charlie comes out and he's like, you did it! You killed him!
Yay!
Yeah.
Anyway, the card says put on the suit, and my little Charlie's a rule follower. Put the suit on, Dad.
I do feel like their reaction, like they're like, "Oh yeah, you just killed it." Like he's just like, "What does Charlie see?" Like it was very like, everything's okay. Like he's just dead. Like it's fine.
Right.
You killed him.
But it is nice that he disappears, so there's no carcass and there's no blood.
That is a very elegant way of the movie to handle, like, okay, this is a kid's movie.
Yeah.
And then the dead Santa even like waves his hand. So you're like,
says,
see, this is just sort of weird Christmas magic is happening.
Yeah. You think
it seems like a shit job.
You think they could do that today? You think they could do that today and get away with it? Or do you think they would like, this would be too edgy?
I think this would be too edgy. I think Santa would have to, I don't know, he'd
have to be ready for retirement, and like he'd be faking it, and he'd be putting on his like Bermuda shorts and he's like, no, I'm dead, bye. But you'd have to know Santa were going off to like something he wanted to do, and you trap the new guy. It's not death. It's okay. No, you did it. I don't know what the thing is that he did.
I tell you, he'd disappear into another multiverse. He'd go through a portal.
Santaverse. No, thank you.
Yeah. I did want to tell a quick story.
Jesus H. Go ahead.
In regards to Charlie shouting, you killed him. All right. So when I was 19 years old, I hit a deer with my car.
Matt, I've been married to a murderer This whole time?
I don't like to talk
the
about
whole
it.
time?
It was an accident. Still like it's many years later. I still have like the trauma of something's just gonna come out from the side of the road because deer are so fucking stupid.
Poor deer.
Yeah,
they are.
But you hit the deer with the car and the deer goes flying. It's insane. Okay, so then I called my mom and I'm like, I hit a deer, and she's like, you hit a deer, and she is with my sister. My sister is I'm 16 years older than my sister, so my sister was 3 years old at the time, and she shouts, "You hit a deer!" And then she turns to my sister and said, "Matt hit Rudolph, or Matt killed Rudolph."
God.
And my sister got so upset. So I don't know. It's fun when you find out that somebody else accidentally killed a magical Christmas thing.
Okay.
That's my story.
Or juror number 2, where it was actually a drunk woman. Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. Juror number 2.
That was a good movie. That was a good movie.
All right.
Yeah, I
and I only said that, Brock, because I knew you'd already seen it, so it's fine. All right. Okay, so I don't know. Enough happens to actually make Tim Allen go up on the roof and put on the suit. Well, because he's chasing his kid up. His kid's going, you don't let your tiny baby kid go up on a slippery ass roof.
All he can say is Charlie, come down from the roof.
Charlie down.
We kept commenting on his pronunciation of roof.
But I do like his, they've got fleas and mites. Don't touch that thing. That magical, mystical thing that got on my roof. Anyway, so he just kind of fumbles and falls right into the sleigh, and he says, whoa, or something, and the reindeer take off into the night.
He's yelling at his kid, let's get out of there, go. Charlie. Yeah. Let's go. And then the sleigh takes. They
sure did know what to do. All right, and this neighborhood is full of roofs that are perfect for landing a giant fucking sleigh. Every single roof is identical, and it takes so long, each of these. So like all my adult brain can think is like, how are you going to do this all night? How are you going to do that? And I'm sorry, you just went all the way down a chimney to give one Raggedy Ann doll to... What? What kind of Santa experience is this? I also feel vindicated, though, when I see that he puts presents under the tree unwrapped. My mom never wrapped Santa presents. That's how you know they were from Santa. And Matt's mom and dad are crazy. They're out of their minds, and they have special Santa Claus paper, and they wrap those presents. Who's got time?
That's how you knew it was from Santa.
Time? No, you know.
I might have to take that into consideration for my kids. I kind of like that. As you said that.
It's more magical. My brother would get a sofa. I would get a sofa, and all my Santa stuff would be spread out and displayed. And I just walk to my sofa and go, I love the way my mom did it.
Brock, were your Santa presents wrapped or unwrapped?
They were wrapped. Like it would be like from Santa. But then as I got older, I'm like, the handwriting's kind of simple. But
I'm comparing this to last year. And
I like the unwrapped idea because that is cool. Because it's like he doesn't have time. He's gotta go. He's gotta
home.
Like he's gotta be around the world. Okay, yeah. Y'all might have. I might have to get back to you on that.
Thank you.
The danger with the wrapping. Yeah. Because Santa's presents are in different wrapping paper from the presents from your parents. The danger is what happened to me when I found the Santa wrapping paper under my mom's bed.
You fucking.
But this it is funny. Like these specific Christmas questions will like divide couples up. Like, what do you mean you don't wrap your presents or Christmas? What do you mean you wrap them? That's insane.
We're about to co-parent. Mm-hmm. I'm going to tell you that right now. All right. So then we get to see him kind of just figure out this first night being mean to perfectly sweet children, and it's what you do when you have a montage of someone taking big presents out of a small bag. There's a canoe or kayak.
Yeah, and this is where you see that all the houses that he visits are completely lit. It's all the lights are on in all the houses he goes into. And
busted Santa.
Some of the okay. Just complaining about the movie. The very
we don't
basic
do
thing.
That on this podcast.
Also, some of these jokes are very like he's like, what did it feel like, Dad? It felt like America's Most Wanted.
That's funny.
Okay.
Yeah, he hates it. This is not his thing, and he's lactose intolerant. And anyway,
he's not lactose intolerant. He's just telling the girl that to be an asshole.
He totally is.
Fine, whatever. No, I think he becomes unlactose intolerant because he becomes Santa Claus.
That's a read. That's certainly a read.
It is a read. It's the correct read. But over time, he's really bonding with Charlie. Charlie's having the time of his life. Charlie didn't even want to come over to his house at the beginning of this. He did nothing but disappoint Charlie every step of the way. And so like he's like, fuck yeah, this is crazy. I'm going to get a CAT scan. This can't be happening. But we're both going on this acid trip together and my son loves me. I think it's really sweet.
I think the movie is doing a good job with that.
Of showing that
like,
evolution.
My kid suddenly really enjoys spending time with me. I almost don't know what this is like.
Exactly. And you really understand it by the time that they both go to sleep in that amazing looking sleigh bed that's at the North Pole. And they're both just like smiling at each other and fall asleep looking at each other. It's so sweet. All right, so they pull up to the worst looking North Pole set I've ever seen, and Matt gets obsessed with the song that plays for some reason. Did you want to?
This song is fucking. You know this song that's playing when they land at the North Pole?
No one knows this.
So it's like, yeah, I went down a whole rabbit hole about this song. It's like, and now it's time. It's Christmas bells, and everyone but the. Well, wait, that's when the song starts picking up. At first, it's like this woman just warbling. She's like.
It's like Bjork.
You see the bells.
Okay. Yeah, it was weird. It was weird.
I was like, was this song written for the movie? What the fuck is this? It's by this artist named Lorena McKennitt. She is an Enya like new age world music.
Like Pure Moods.
Yes, Pure Moods. She sold 20 million albums. Never heard of her. Looked on Spotify. Never heard of any of these songs.
But Matt did add this to his playlist.
Oh yeah, I love this shit.
This kind of shit.
This is what I listen to when I'm reading or writing. I love weird ass world music. Anyway, pay attention next time you're watching this movie and pay attention to this song. It's insane. But they get led into the North Pole facility. They see the factory. Reindeer are teleporting in. Little children, elves are running around.
No one gives a shit. This is a new Santa. They all are looking at him, though. They're just like, let's check out the new guy.
In the caption, somebody says, look, here comes the new Santa. So they're aware, here's new Santa.
It's magic.
But who cares?
Well, they care because they want to see what the new boss is like. You know, it's like okay, well, management's changed again. They're hundreds and hundreds of years old. They've been through a lot of them. Santa is mortal for some reason, but the elves are not. And
it's funny. I mean, it is funny.
You're the head elf. You're the big guy in charge. Is he? Because you're all talking to him like he's a piece of shit. So,
Well, the movie gets a lot of mileage out of the joke of like he's talking to who he perceives as children and they're just being sarcastic assholes back to him.
Right.
And he's flustered and doesn't know what to do about it. You know, who's in charge here? You are.
Yeah. And then you guys know he's new. Quit being an ass.
Right. You just said he's new.
You'd think, there'd be some kind of onboarding program.
Okay. But then, you still got like 20 years with the same guy. So every 20 years they get to fuck with somebody. I think this is the only new person that ever comes in.
They're doing this on purpose, you're saying. Okay.
It's the only new person that ever comes in. It's the only fun they ever get. It's like, let's haze the new guy.
Yeah, like even looking at this scene, I feel like the North Pole, like I don't know how you feel about this, Matt. Like I think like bright, I think like fantastical, and this is just kind of like, I don't know, it could be like any mall North Pole or something.
No, I mean it looks shittier than a mall. It looks like
just
just the basics of how to decorate, because we did Home Alone 2 weeks ago, and that toy store in that movie, which is a fictional toy store, but they did decorate it very nice. Like this is just for some reason a skill this movie doesn't have. Although, my memory of this as a kid is this is the most magical place you've ever seen. So I guess it works. It just doesn't work past a certain age. We meet Bernard, David Krumholtz. And again, when I was a kid, I was like, if you asked me to guess how old David Krumholtz in this movie is, I would be like, I don't know, 44. And he's 16. He's just a little older than the other children actors.
Okay, I did not know that. Oh wow.
Yeah, this is David Krumholtz's his first movie role was Addams Family Values. His second is this. And
he's a fucking
he's a treasure.
He's a treasury drim. God, he's great. Jim.
And he's the one who starts telling him like, okay, listen, the Santa Claus, the line in the contract. And now they're explaining the Santa Claus. And what a weird title for a children's movie. What child, like to me as a kid, I was like, I don't know, he's the Santa Claus. It's Santa Claus, but with the in front of it. Not understanding what a clause is.
Yes, well, some jokes are for the adults, Matt.
Yeah.
Try to keep up.
They got to buy the tickets. Yep, they got to buy the tickets.
You leave tomorrow morning. You have 11 months to get your affairs in order. You're due back here on Thanksgiving.
And I thought that meant every year that's the way it was going to work. And then I realized for the first time watching it this time, like, no, he lives at the North Pole forever now. He got 11 months to get...
In the first year, we'll give you some time. Yeah. Wrap up your mortal business.
Right. Figure
That's
out...
wild on paper. Like to think about that. Like, yeah, enjoy the last year of your life.
They get a line of mileage out of that snow globe. Otherwise, it is completely cruel. But the idea that Charlie can just shake it. But you know it's really sad, Matt, Brock? It's as Charlie gets older and older, he shakes that globe less and less.
Like the little boy in the Polar Express.
Is that what the Polar Express is about?
Well, you can only hear the bell or whatever when you believe in Santa Claus.
I'm talking about wanting to talk to his dad.
It's the same thing.
No, never mind.
Yeah.
I just mean your kids don't call when they're in college. That's all I meant. Both of you ruined it. All right, go on.
Is very sad to think. My kid has a magical portal to me and he doesn't even care anymore.
Right. He broke it even. I had to get him a new one. You know how much those things cost.
What would you do if you had to be Santa Claus? Like what my first order of business would be like, well, I'll just find someone else. Here, you take the suit.
Like the smile curse, you're just gonna pass it on.
You got to pass it on, exactly. Yes, or it follows.
I haven't seen it smile curse. Well, I mean, I think it would be a lot harder to accept if it weren't for his body changing. I mean, you look completely different now. You have different sentiments. You care about things you never cared about before. It kind of just grooms him to be like, well, I guess I'm going to be a fucking Santa now. I mean, this is how I look. Kids already seem to know it. Reindeer already know it. They don't really give them any choice. So you're not going to pass it up. Like, now you're just going to look like a crazy fuck the rest of your life and probably get arrested for interactions with children. So go ahead and be a Santa. Live with elves.
I mean, in a way, it's like, okay, so like I had problems. Now I don't have to worry about it.
Right. Yeah. What happens to his mortgage? Right. What happens to his house? I guess that's his affairs.
Am I legally dead now?
Ah, you're right. Huh.
So they take Scott and Charlie into this room where there's a permanent puppet show going on, and then the little elf Judy comes in and he's like, "Hey, you look pretty good for your age." And she said, "Thanks, but I'm seeing someone in wrapping." What a weird joke.
Yeah, that didn't work for me. Nah, I was just going to say that didn't work. Nope. Yeah, and then him pulling out his box with the puppets were like, ah. I thought that was funny. That was funny. But yeah, the age joke. I'm like, ooh, risque. Not happening today.
Yeah.
So the first time I watched this movie this week, when she declines what she thinks are his romantic advances, I was like, oh, that's so weird. Then I watched it today. I was like, no, it's good. I like it.
It's kind of funny. Yeah. Well, and it's like, it's how he plays it off. He is completely disinterested. So that's why it works. It's her confusion. Otherwise, it would be gross. Because, I mean, we're all so used to that. Is like with freaking, when I like Star Search, Ed McMahon. Sorry, okay, now I'm showing my age. But like when Britney Spears was on Star Search for the first time, Ed McMahon's like, so do you have a boyfriend? And she's like 12. And it's like, that's all men ever did with like little starlets. It's just, hey, you want to fuck when you're older?
Yeah, like Emma Watson from Harry Potter. There was like countdowns to when she's legal.
Ew.
Online, yeah. Yeah.
Grass on the Quidditch field.
Ugh.
Play ball. All right, just saying.
Oh, no.
Okay, and also whenever the kids start lining up to sit on his lap, like it's because he so doesn't want it, but then he gets up and he's like, they lined up. I didn't do that.
Oh, that
you know.
Funny.
Oh, okay. So it's kind of like, okay, Santa, we're trusting you with great power, and you're going to have access to kids and vulnerable people. We need to only look for people who so don't want to do this.
We don't, no scoutmasters, no one coaching any freaking gymnastics, no one working with child actors. You're all out.
It's like in juror number 2 when they're like, you're a good juror because you don't want to be here. You're a good Santa Claus because you don't like children.
We don't want a Santa that likes children.
Yeah.
Got it.
The next morning they wake up back at home, but Scott's still in the Santa Claus pajamas.
He's rocking them. Looks great.
And then the mom comes in and Charlie's like, hey, we went flying on the reindeer to the North Pole. Dad was Santa. It was a great time. Hey, anyway, Dad, thanks for a great time at the North Pole. I'll see you soon. And And, you know, the parents, the mom and the new stepdad, like, really, Scott? What's going on with that? Judge Reinhold is Neil. I don't think we mentioned that. I love him. I like positive, as a step parent, representation's important. I like positive depictions of step parents in movies.
I think he is.
Stepdad. He's a fair stepdad.
Yeah, he's a good guy. He cares.
They have a lot of emotional scenes, especially whenever he goes missing, a little, you know, different things.
Yeah.
The structure of this movie is pretty bizarre because we have the opening 30 minutes, which you would think would just be the whole movie. Like a guy has to take over for Santa Claus for one night.
It does the depressing thing that you mentioned about the Simpsons episode, which is that it does full fucking Christmas and then ends with not Christmas at all. I mean, except for the end on Christmas again, you know, but like they take you through a whole year of no Christmas. It is weird to be drug along that long through a Christmas movie. But
it's not just that, but cut to school. Now you're in school in January. Like there's nothing more depressing than that.
I'll say it was really jarring. It was really jarring. But I'm like, oh wow, I forgot because I knew there was some time. But like again, like I don't think it's interesting because you said you saw this as a younger kid, right? Like Matt, like I wonder like how people would not be bored during this. I don't know because there's not a lot to grab their attention.
No, I think that the premise is so strong, and I think it was so funny. Like, oh, he's getting fat. He wants to eat cookies.
Yeah, you're just looking at different things. The jokes are all going over your head.
Yes, and Lacey has this term lily padding. Like you're just remembering the things you like.
You know something good's coming, so you don't mind you go pee, you get a snack or whatever. You like look down at your phone and you're like, haha, the thing again.
Does it say like why he forgets too, Scott? Like because he does forget, right? Until the snow.
No, it just doesn't make sense. I mean, he's a logical person that, right? Like, I mean, just a vivid dream. He's got a million things to show him that it's real.
I was trying to pinpoint where in the movie does he have a moment where it clicks for him. It doesn't really. He just kind of always knows it, but he's in denial.
That's a big.
Isn't it the snow globe though? When he's like, "Remember, Dad?" He gives him the snow globe.
No. He's in the pajamas. He never forgets. Okay, look, right now I went to the store and I got a tiny little bit of an abduction happening with like a UFO, maybe like a third encounter kind of a thing where like there's lights and my car shakes. But then I continue to the store and I get the milk and I come back. Do I tell anybody? It's kind of a pain in the ass. I know something weird happened. I think it would take another person in the car with me forcing me to tell the story and sound like the fucking crazy person that I'm going to sound like. I just think it's a pain. He needs to get back to work.
Okay, I'm tracking.
It's an interesting tension because he doesn't want it to be true and his kid will not shut up about it.
And loves him.
Yeah.
And loves him.
And he's like, I've wanted you to love me, not because of this though. And also,
a little bit cheating.
You're really making me look bad.
Making me look crazy. Okay. I'm tracking.
Right. I'm finally a good dad, but you're making me look like a really bad dad and actual things could happen. Like I can lose custody. It's like and he gets this like double-edged sword perfectly at the school scene where it's everybody bring your dad or mom to talk about their profession, and he brings both of his dads, which is an interesting choice. And in real time, he gets to see like, oh my God, I switched spots with fucking the great and powerful Neil. He wants me to talk about my job first, and then they do, and it's awkward, and it's alien abduction story, and you know, and so then they get immediately called to the principal's office where it's like, look, this is weird. You're making your kid weird. What you do, you know, but I'm finally doing the good thing and I'm a bad guy. Oh no.
They keep having this joke with Judge Reinhold he's a psychiatrist and he's always talking about like your feelings and the way that this makes us feel. I guess in 94, this was still like psychiatrist. That's a little wacky.
That's more like a chiropractor. That's not a real doctor.
Yeah, you're not a real doctor. Yeah.
He's not a doctor. He's a but like a psychiatrist is literally a medical doctor. Yes, a psychologist is not a doctor. Yeah, he can fucking prescribe you pills.
He's got a little notepad, give you freaking Klonopin like it's nothing.
Yeah.
So, okay.
They go to the zoo and see polar bears. I've never seen a polar bear at a zoo.
They're not in the zoo.
They must be, though. All right. You know? Or maybe they were back then.
There's some kind of national park or...
No, this is a zoo.
with just free range reindeer.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Like our zoo has peacocks, they've got reindeer.
Exactly.
Well, it's just over and over again, this push and pull of like, I don't want to gaslight you, Charlie. I do know what you're talking about. This did happen, but this is causing like real havoc in your life. Let us go on the third walk that I've had to take you on where I'm going to tell you to stop being a freak. And then it's the deep, like, let's keep it a little secret. It's our secret. Ooh, it makes people happy. You want me to pay you? I hate secret talk. I really hate it. But it
is what you need to do from the very beginning. Like, hey, Charlie, yes, I know. We did the Santa thing. Don't tell anyone or else I'll die.
Christmas magic. He could have just based it around like people need to believe in Santa Claus, not because there's proof, but because they believe. So you tell your friend you're taking away the magic. You get to be in a secret club where you know Santa, but everyone doesn't need this kind of proof, Charlie. See, that's how you lie to your kid. I mean, that's how you groom your kid.
It's also the weird thing of like, so this is a world where Santa exists, but none of the adults believe in Santa, even though I guess every year presents just materialize in their living room, don't know where they came from, but there is no such thing as Santa. You have to stop believing in that at a certain point. So the movie's walking a very strange tightrope.
Yes. If you can hear him on your roof as he did, you can see him in the street as that delivery guy did. You can, come on, guys.
But I think this is like the stretch, like Brock was talking about, like seeing it as an adult, like this movie is just out of gas at this point. There is no engine to this whatsoever.
I guess I was just so in on the like gaslighting of children and the needing to believe them and the push and pull of co-parenting, where normally I'd be on the side of Neil and the mom because be a good dad. You weren't a good dad and now you're doing something else weird with him and you're fucking up his life and fuck you, who are you to do this? Like I would be on their side, but in this movie I'm like, but guys, but does Tim Allen and he like really likes this kid? No.
They jump to legal intervention pretty fast.
But
yes,
that
really
makes
fast.
you think, okay, but Neil is so aggravated that once again, business dad is late on Christmas night. He's late to his own house, and they makes him late to Neil's family. It's that kind of thing that over time will really strain a co-parenting relationship. So they've been on the edge for a while. This just is huge. You need that big push.
Mm-hmm.
There's definitely some context that this is not the first time like he's not been there.
Yes.
I will agree for sure.
Right. And now he's crazy on top of it.
Right.
And he doesn't look nearly as hot. He's having a reverse Spider-Man. No, thank you.
Yeah, the David Cronenberg body horror starts happening now. He gets out of bed. I do
too.
He gets out of bed fatter. Very depressing for him to, once he starts gaining tons of weight, he gets on the scale and the scale tells him a weight that I would cry for joy if I achieved 193 pounds. And he goes into work and his coworkers are like, you hear somebody gasp when they see him. And I was like, Lacey, this is insane. You're like, no. It makes sense. I would gasp too.
If he's a svelte guy 1 week ago and then comes in with 45 pounds of weight, it is odd.
I would think, oh, he's fatter than I remember. Or I guess he's just dressed bad.
No, because this is the kind of office where they all fuck. So like clearly they've seen him naked. They've had a schwitz with him. Hello.
Okay, yeah, they've definitely had a schwitz. Okay. It's just it's very funny that somebody literally just gasps out loud when they see him.
I like all of his interactions with adults. I like all the parts where he's getting Santa-fied and just saying the most like wholesome shit ever and ordering all the things and extra fudges. He just like he so loves life all of a sudden.
Yeah, he so loves desserts, and he doesn't question it. He's just like, but no, now I love desserts. What are you talking about?
He was lactose intolerant before.
Okay.
And now he's just living the fucking dream.
That joke was funny. On the side.
That was funny.
I was pretty good.
So if the Denny's loomed very large for me, this is the other scene that loomed so large for me, is this corporate meeting where they get to order meals from a leather-bound menu. I was like, I guess that's what it's like when you have a job. You can just order.
It kind of is.
You order, I'll have a salad dressing on the side. What kind of salad? Not surprise me.
A green salad, Matt.
Somebody else says just a salad dressing on the side. So yeah, Tim Allen orders all this dessert, and his boss is looking at him like he's a fucking freak.
They can forgive all of this, Matt. It's when he doesn't like the toy they're making, and he also wants to build a toy that can last, a simple toy to enrich their minds. Excuse me? The whole point was that we were going to make it fall apart. Although, like, come on, even in, like... the big toy companies, they're not that cynical. They just make toys where you need more. You need to build it up. You need more and more and more. You don't make a shit toy that falls apart instantly and you replace parts. Who's replacing parts on a fucking toy that broke after 10 minutes?
Well, it's just
Get your shit
we've
together.
only lived in a world where toys are just shitty and just made out of this garbage.
No.
But toys used to be durable. They used to hold up. Yeah.
No, I'm saying all the big toy companies now, they hold up. They don't make money by making them shit and they fall apart. They make money by needing to expand the world and making you feel FOMO if you don't get the expansion packs.
That's true.
Keep up.
That's true.
I was at Walmart today for a really long time.
You're just looking at toys?
Yes, because I just knew they were going to have those number block things that our kid really, really wants. And they're so not popular. I knew there'd be 2 of them on the shelf and that they were hiding. And I walked up and down and up and I got dizzy and then I came home.
I hope you'll be okay.
It was a bad time.
Speaking of toys, Legos are hella expensive now. Inflation.
Oh my God. Yes.
Oh my God.
Golly, I was shopping for my nephew and I'm like, geez, like they were not that expensive growing up. No way.
No. If you want to get them for $10 or less, you're talking about the kind that come in a little bag. It's like a sad, they won't even give you a cardboard box. You're going to 20 just to get the box that's this big. Anytime someone's like, oh, he's really into Legos now. I'm like, oh, I'm really not going to buy him anything then. So,
well, the whole thing with Legos forever was like, you build whatever you want with it.
Every time someone gives you a set, you've expanded your collection.
And then a Scott Calvin came along and he's like, no. We'll license IP.
Yeah.
And then you have to just buy and buy specific sets. Lord Business said, we need to.
And they're so hard to put together. There's like 50 pages in the book of how to put it together that you're not taking this freaking Mandalorian apart. That thing is staying a Mandalorian for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
No, exactly. Yes. You assemble it and that's it. No more utility.
No one touch it. Don't even look at it.
Yeah, it's a great business model.
We have a grand piano where it opens and you play it that my kid built out of Legos. It was so expensive. It took 2 straight days of them not sleeping or eating to put it together.
Wow.
And it's amazing, but it just sits on a shelf and we just stare at it and we're scared of it because what if it breaks?
Yeah.
I should have put it in my background, but we have the Home Alone Lego, like the McAllister house one that took us
my
forever.
God.
It's really cool because you can open it up.
Get it now.
Yeah, that one's pretty cool. Like you can actually do some stuff with, but yeah, I agree with you. The rest is just, all right, you're done.
You can make your own traps?
Yes, you could.
Stop. It's like Mousetrap the game, but you build it.
Peter Boyle is his boss. Peter Boyle's in the sequels as a different character, as Father Time in the sequels.
Me. Yeah.
Yeah, that's odd.
Well, you can fill it in your head canon. It can be like, well, he became Father Time. We're just not seeing that happen.
Or maybe he was checking on the new Santa Claus or something, maybe.
Exactly, yes.
Just trying to get an idea of how they make them toys.
So he pulls Scott aside and he's like, you got to get your shit together, man. Look at you. You're telling us we don't need profits, and you have gained a little bit of weight.
45 pounds is not a little bit of weight, Matt.
Scott sees a doctor. He's getting fatter. I like this scene with the doctor because this is most people. The thing about life is most professionals you encounter, it's a job. They just want to get you out of there. So they'll say whatever.
You just like how sweet he is, taking his time.
No, he goes to the doctor.
Well, there you go, buddy.
Yeah, he's like, well, I've gained a ton of weight. And he's like, yeah, you're entering middle age. It's going to happen. And he's like, but my beard is growing super fast. He's like, again, yeah, these things just happen.
Hormonal imbalance. So it's milk and cookies for the weight, hormonal imbalance for the rapid hair growth, and middle age for the graying.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, but Scott, you're not being your best advocate. You're not explaining exactly what is.
No, yeah. But as an overweight person, I can tell you when you go tell a doctor any sort of thing, they're like, well, I think that you need to think about more vegetables.
Get more exercise. Right. It's like, but it's an earache. I'm telling you about an earache.
Yeah.
Right.
They listen to his heart and his heartbeat sounds like jingle bells. And then like little kids are coming up to Scott in public and telling him what he wants, what they want. I like
what he wants.
I like this. I like that the magical powers are not like clearly enumerated, but they're happening to him and he doesn't really understand it. But it's like all of a sudden he knows the names of everybody and just intuits whether they're naughty or nice. And then the kids can intuit it as well.
As a kid, I had no idea a whole year went on. I was like, oh, it's Christmas again. They have 2 Christmases in this. I thought because the 45 pounds happens so fast. The rest is over a year, you know, the transformation.
Yeah.
But the rapid hair growth, I guess it just gets to a certain point and it has to be that look for as long as, I don't know, who knows. But
I think it would have been cool, like, maybe, I don't know how, from a script standpoint, like maybe like you see him as he goes through each holiday, like leading up, and like there's this like time thing where it's like
some other indication, because the kid doesn't grow an inch, you know, because it's not really what's happening.
It's not very clear at all.
Don't even give him a different haircut. Still looks like a little pumpkin pie. The mom has a still very specific hair. I mean, like no one has grown in a year but Calvin, you know, Scott Calvin. So yeah, that was not clear to me as a youth.
The list gets delivered to him because his job is he has to, I guess. So here's what you inherit as Santa Claus. You inherit the magical power to look at a name and know intuitively whether the child has been naughty or nice. So that's what they need from Santa. This is how the Santa surveillance panopticon system works. He doesn't have to spy on anybody. He doesn't actually see you when you're sleeping, but he knows. He just knows.
Fucking knows.
But then the co-parenting drama heats up. Laura and Neil, they decide to take legal action. We have a fucking scene where Charlie, like an attorney, takes Charlie. He's like, Charlie, we need to have a little talk right here. Like, what is this move?
He's crying and like they're pulling him away, and that's a hard fucking scene to watch.
It is.
But I think that who I don't remember which of you two said it, but like Neil is secretly driving all of this. He's sick of Scott. He's like, you know, Laura, I hate to say it, it's time we have to talk to an attorney. And then they strip Scott's visitation rights away from him. But we have the little scene where the mom and the stepdad are talking about when they stopped believing in Santa, and it was when they didn't get they didn't get the presents that they wanted. Mm-hmm. Mystery date for her. A weenie whistle for him when he was 3 years old. Scott had told Charlie, like, hey, we're going to keep this a secret. But when the judge asked to speak with him, he's like, well, I have to tell the judge the truth.
Right.
And that's what gets him his parental rights taken away.
The kid fucked it all up.
He snitched just like his dad.
You're going to get stitches, and stitches are lack of father.
But immediately the next scene, Scott just goes back to their house like a psycho.
Oh, that kills me. Like, no, screw court orders.
First just stares into their window like, hey. And then knocks on the door and they're like, Scott? And he's like, oh, hey, guys.
Well, I was just walking by.
And he's like, I guess it's kind of weird. Like right here, he starts off the scene trying to be like, I have to go to the North Pole now. I'm never coming back. So I'm saying goodbye to you forever. Or no, it's not that. It's like, he's like, I know now that I'm bad for you. So let's just say our goodbyes and go our separate ways. But then he looks at the snow globe and he remembers, oh, I am Santa and I have to go to the North Pole. So I'll take you with me. This script is a mess.
Yeah, you're right. That's why, to me, as a kid, I was just like, oh, finally, they're get back to their Christmas break. They had a weird 2 weeks, but now Christmas is happening again.
And then David Krumholtz just, teleports into the kitchen. He's like, hey, guys, time to go back. We got to be getting back. And then the mom comes in and sees that her ex-husband has kidnapped her child.
That's terrifying.
Yes.
That is how most kidnappings happen every year. It is that.
Yes, it's like almost all kidnappings statistically are just
all Miranda
divorced parents. Yep. Yeah. But it's Christmas again. Charlie and Scott go to the North Pole. Meanwhile, there's a massive police hunt for Scott/Santa Claus.
I love that there's a massive police hunt for one missing kid with their dad. That would never.
That's insane.
Yeah. All these resources for one fucking kid.
He's adorable, an adorable little
rich white boy.
An adorable wealthy white boy. Yes, exactly.
And his dad's a freak. That's going to make great front paper headlines.
Up at the North Pole, Bernard is doing like a Q from James Bond thing to Scott. He's like, we got all this new gear for you. We got fireproof, whatever. And there's a slow walk montage.
Works for me. ZZ Top.
So he starts delivering presents again. This time he revisits the girl that he yelled at last year. This time she left out soy milk for him because he said he was lactose intolerant. It's
she
so
also
nice.
has not grown.
Yeah, she also has not grown.
And still has the same fucking tooth missing. When's that tooth going to grow in, you little freak?
The Charlie.
Plot hole.
Dude, let's write that up on IMDb goofs.
Righty.
Girl hasn't grown, plot hole.
Her tooths are stupid.
Her tooths are stupid.
Tooths, shut up.
Charlie and his dad, they're flying in the sleigh, and Charlie points at Lake Michigan, and he's like, look, it's Mom and Neil Street. Can we go there next? So they go, but the cops are waiting there, and they arrest Scott.
That was stupid.
Yeah, you should not go there. You're not thinking with your head.
You're thinking with your pole.
It's like it's the middle of the night, but the street is filled with kids. They watch the police haul Santa Claus away.
Because in this reality, it's like Halloween, right?
Yeah.
You go knocking on doors for milk and cookies.
And then they just strand Charlie on the roof. And
I totally melded Elf's ending and this ending together. I kept waiting for them to have to like end in the park and then like sing a Christmas carol to make the mom and dad believe. And it's like, no, that's Elf. That's fucking Elf. Shit. I was relieved that it wasn't that ending.
Back at the North Pole, they know Santa is in trouble, so they deploy the effective liberating flying squad. Elves with attitude.
Ew.
Scott gets interrogated by a cop. Then the elves go to the police station, and they say to the cop, "We're your worst nightmare." Elves with attitude. A line Roger Ebert loved. He referenced it in multiple reviews, unrelated to the Santa Claus.
Wait, what? Popo Shisho?
No. He loved a line, "We're your worst nightmare." Elves with attitude.
Oh.
He's like,
I hate that little kid. Fucking hate him.
What don't you like about him?
Little piece of shit, smug little bastard. I hate him. There's a lot of kids in this movie I don't like. The only one I really like is
really.
Charlie.
What about Judy?
She's all right. They're just all a little too. They're not selling it. I'm not buying what they're selling.
I forgot to mention it. This is very important. The Judy scene earlier where she gives him the hot cocoa. She has one of those line readings that sticks in my head for whatever reason. Like a no, not yet from Jurassic Park 3. She says she's explaining her hot chocolate and she says,
not too hot.
Not too hot. Extra chocolate. Shaken, not stirred. For some, I don't know. I'll be on my deathbed. My children will be visiting me. I'm like, come closer. Come closer. Extra chocolate.
Right. Got it.
It's very sincere. Like it just kind of makes you feel giddy. It's like, oh, she's like very excited. She's very excited about it.
It's like, I am ancient. I wish I would die. I wish I had a mortal soul. And I've been making hot chocolate for my entire life.
I'm just working on this drink. I cannot die. I live in constant pain. I'm deformed.
Every time there's a new Santa, I get to see the joy in the face of the fuck who fucking drinks it.
God, this is just one of those movies where I have to summarize the plot. And as I summarize the plot, this movie is fucking all over the place.
I'm glad we watched it separately. Maybe I like a lot of movies. You're just in the room and I'm like, oh, I guess I hated that.
Because you always look over at me for a reaction.
I cannot stop it. I wish my neck would break in that direction so I couldn't go, what's Matt thinking?
My wife, just when I do that, like when it's a movie I've seen that she has like, stop looking at me, damn it.
I know. It's probably, but luckily Matt can't fucking see peripheral anything because he can't turn his head. So he has no idea what I'm like. Huh? Huh? The mom and Neil realize they go to their house on the sleigh and they get to see the sleigh, and Mom and Neil realize, oh, you weren't trying to steal my child. You were just taking him for a little ride that I did not tell you yes to.
He's been gone for a month.
Has he?
I mean, I think that,
oh, right. I think that Thanksgiving to this.
Report back on Thanksgiving. Now it's Christmas Eve.
Okay, you fucking criminal. That's not okay, man. You ruined their whole December.
Yeah.
Rude.
And they're just standing here like stuffing pitas.
Just stuffing the shit out of them. And they have a tree. They decorated their house. Your kid's missing.
Your kid's missing.
You but decorated your house.
There is the scene where Judge Reinhold pulls out Charlie's stocking and he considers it. I guess because like my stepson is maybe dead, but yeah. I don't know.
I guess I could put his ashes in it. Okay, they're not excited enough and they're not mad enough that the Santa bitch took their kid for a month. He's got school, Santa.
Yeah.
He's not going to graduate now.
Yeah, a lot to catch up on.
The task force stuff does make sense. I'm going to retract my statement because I mean a month, that's a long ass time.
That's a long, and I never put that together.
Yeah.
Ever.
Well, because this movie's not that well made, so you don't understand. Time is passing.
You ruined Tim Allen for me, and you've ruined the sweetness of
I've
this
ruined
movie.
it. No,
You ruined it.
No, I like this movie.
Great.
Yeah.
What about me? So this is the part that made me tear up, is when the mom finally is like relieved, because I just see this relief wash over her. It's not the magic of Christmas. She doesn't give a shit that Santa exists. She's just so glad that this man that Charlie is the son of, and who he's in love with, who he thinks is a thing, is that thing. That's the relief you see on her face. It's like, okay, you're not crazy. Oh my God, thank God.
What is it that makes her realize it, though?
The fucking sleigh.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Does she see the sleigh?
I don't know. In my head, they do.
I mean, she does later, but it's in the living room where she suddenly says, "Oh my God, it is you." I guess she just sees him and she gets that special feeling in her heart.
She smells the North Pole.
Feeling, yeah, like she like is kind of a kid again. That's kind of how I took it.
Yeah,
that is how it reads. But like, I guess why I got choked up was it was just, thank God you're not that crazy. Oh, okay. This was going to be so much harder, and I get my kid back. Yay!
All in all, a good day.
All in all, a good day.
I think Wendy Crewson is the actress. I think she's very, very good in this scene of crying and realizing it is you. You're Santa Claus. This isn't fucked up.
Oh, right. It was fucked up, and now it's
my understanding of reality is shattered. The laws of physics need to be rewritten.
She's had a year of priming.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then of course after that, he gives them their presents, and it's the two presents they stopped believing in Santa over: mystery date and weenie whistle.
I weenie whistle.
He probably got it, and he was like, "This is a piece of shit."
I was like, that's a weird ass gift. I'm just gonna. That's what I thought. I'm like,
those were all the rage. Don't make me feel older.
Were they? Okay, all right.
Yeah,
all right.
It was a big deal because like the weenie mobile would like drive around, and you were lucky if it came to your city, and they handed those out, and it was like only if you had fucking seen that weenie mobile could you be a kid that has a weenie whistle. It's just really good marketing by Oscar Mayer at the end of the day.
It's a present Santa can't get you because you can only get those from.
That's why Neil, clearly he's rich. Look at these sweaters. His parents could have got him anything.
But there's a Santa Claus world. Santa
can get you anything. And I think Neil, as a 3-year-old plotting, manipulative little fuck, was like, let's see you do this, Santa. And they couldn't.
Well, this is like when I was two different occasions as a kid. One, all I want for Christmas.
I just made up everything I said. Like, I have no idea if that's how you get a weenie whistle. So I'm just now realizing.
I totally believed you.
I bought it. I was like, wow, that's like that. She knows a kid. Like that actually would be pretty cool. Yeah,
I think that's true. But
she knows a lot about weenie whistles.
Yeah,
I know they handed them out, but I don't know if that's the only way you could have gotten one. I'm sure they sold them at like Walmart or something.
I had a price for when I was at an old job. I had to get a quote for renting the Wienermobile, and I was like, oh no, we won't be doing that.
Do they have one in every city? I've definitely seen one. They definitely have one here.
You could do it here.
Are you talking about the person I think you're talking about?
Yeah. He wanted to have an event like, let's get the Wienermobile over here. Get people to come over to my office, and they'll get wieners, and then they'll want to hire me as an attorney.
Like, just get a food truck, man. No one wants this Wienermobile.
So two occasions. One, I was like 4 years old. I was obsessed with the Care Bears, but I think I've told this story before.
Yes, you have.
I got into Care Bears after Care Bear Mania had died down.
Oh,
but I was like, well, that doesn't matter. Santa can get me a Care Bear toy. He can build it in his workshop.
Yeah, it's just a fucking bear.
In a pre-eBay world, my parents had no ability to acquire a Care Bear because they weren't sold anymore. So my mom told me that the elf who makes Care Bears had the flu.
And Rudolph is dead. So
I killed Rudolph. I gutted him like Tywin Lannister.
No, the elf that makes these bears can see the future. He knows that you do a horrific crime to their main deer, and sorry.
He took PTO. Yeah. That's what my parents would have told me. He took PTO.
Really? They would say PTO?
Yeah, I think. I mean, elves need HR or something because I feel like they're low key.
They work year round. It's not cool. They can't even take coffee breaks or drink coffee.
It is funny with like every family has different like lore about Santa and how this whole system works.
Yeah,
and it's like why don't kids just like compare notes? Yeah. Because my parents would always say,
"Wait a second."
If I did anything bad, my parents would say, "I'm calling Santa," and I'd be like, "No."
Yep, mine did too.
Exactly.
Ooh,
if you and me had, mine would call Jesus, but if you and me had ever met in real life, I would have just said my presents are not wrapped, and you'd be like, but mine are, and we'd been like, wait, the fuck, what has happened? You know, it just takes one note comparison. Are we taught to like let's keep it as this is just me and my Santa? If I start telling people, maybe I'll get less gifts because I got a shit ton from Santa.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know when I stopped believing. I don't, like, my parents never told me. It was just suddenly they stopped talking about it.
I also don't remember, this is an interesting point you're making, because I also don't remember ever talking with anyone, any kids, about Santa. Like, it's just something you experience and you do and you know it's coming and it's yay. But it's like, I never had, that's like such a big deal that Santa exists. I almost think it was like a superstition, like, okay, don't think about it too much or he'll stop existing. I just remembered like always thinking it was a choice. Mm-hmm. So I didn't want anything to like ruin my Santa faith.
Because when I was 10 years old, this is the other one. I was 10 years old and my cat ran away.
Yeah.
And
oh no,
like in November. And then I was like, I was kind of at the age where it's like, I have a terrifying suspicion that Santa doesn't exist, but I want to believe. So I wrote, Dear Santa, the only thing I want for Christmas is my cat back.
He's not fucking animal control, Matt. He's dealing with everyone around the globe. Selfish.
Yeah.
You could have just asked for a kitten. He can get you a kitten.
That's not what I wanted.
Well, you're a little bitch. You're a little friggin' entitled jerk.
So Laura, Wendy Crewson, she's like, here, Scott, I have something for you. These legal papers, throw them in the fire. Now, that is not legally binding, but again, he's not subject to the laws of man anymore, so it doesn't matter.
He's Totenklausen.
So, whatever. He's Sinterklaas. Bernard shows up and he's like, hey, sport, don't worry. I know you're going to miss your dad because he's going to go away forever to another dimension, but you can get him back at any time by shaking this snow globe. And later, Charlie is like outside. He's very sad. He misses his dad because he hasn't seen him in 30 minutes, but he shakes the snow globe.
It's 10 minutes.
And his dad comes back. He's like, Charlie, what's the deal?
I was on my way to Cincinnati or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Cleveland.
Yeah, Cleveland.
Same thing, right?
No, I live in Ohio. Two completely different cities.
Brock, where you live, what allegiance to the sports teams? Which are you, Cincinnati or Cleveland?
Cincinnati.
C-I-N, Cincinnati.
Bengals, baby.
You're geographically closer to Cincinnati, or is it like how do people figure this out?
No, I'm geographically closer, but I just like the Bengals more. And Browns are just poverty franchise. They're just terrible. I mean, Deshaun Watson has more battery cases than they do touchdowns this year. So I mean, that tells you all that you need to know.
Yeah, I think he'd need like a significant amount of touchdowns to catch up to the amount of battery cases he has.
Yeah.
Can I be released? Please? Can we wrap this up? I love both of you, but come on.
Where are we in the movie? I think that's the end of the movie.
Yeah, we're done. Yay,
okay,
Santa Clausen.
Yay.